Hey guys, it's Jeremy here at Metal Music Meltdown, back with another video. It's that time of the month, guys. We're going to do our top 5 of November. I've technically got top 6 this month, and I'll kind of explain it once I get to number 1, why there's that one extra one. Pretty solid month for releases. I didn't review quite as many albums I did last month. Last month I went crazy, and I think I did like 30 or 31 album reviews. Last month I think I did like 15 or roughly around 15 or so, including EPs and stuff. And came up with 6 albums I think were the best. A quick honorable mention, Primal Scourge had a really cool death metal album out. I really dug that one. Drain didn't quite make my list. I know a lot of people love that album. Sorry guys, but didn't quite stick with me as much as I thought it would, but pretty good album still. And Kill Ritual was another one. Good thrash album, didn't quite make my list, but really solid stuff. So let's jump right in, guys. At number 5, I have the Thrasher Zero Tolerance with their debut full-length, A Test of Strength. These are local to me, Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, pretty close to where I live. I was really excited for their debut album. It was very similar to their EP from last year, very similar sound. Just some good, straightforward thrash metal. Nothing too crazy or mind-blowing, but just really solid, really well done. Good production, great vocals, good riffs, like everything you want out of thrash. Like no complaints, but just nothing wowing. It didn't have that wow factor, I guess, but it was just a really solid debut. At number, I'll go 1 to 5, and I'll explain at the end. Number 4, I went with Creatures out of Brazil. They're like a mix of hard rock, heavy metal, really good, clean, melodic vocals on this one, great choruses. This was their sophomore album, entitled just number 2. Killer artwork on this one. I dug the artwork a lot too. Very kind of horror themed. I dig these guys' sound. Really cool sound. Nice melodic. Really catchy tunes. Really guitar driven still, but really fun music. Really fun listen. I really enjoyed it. Number 3, I went with the album I just recently reviewed on the channel, Hell's Domain. Really solid thrash metal band out of Denmark. This is their second full length, entitled Terminal State. Really good thrash elements, like really good riffs. Just the perfect amount of infusion of melody, both in their riffs and songwriting, and the choruses, and the vocals. The vocals were my favorite on this band. They're kind of this kind of basic shouting vocal. They weren't bad by any means, but they were just kind of there for me. That's why I wasn't as much of a standout. But musically, I really dug the album. Really good thrashy riffs. Very catchy riffs, but like I said, very melodic and chunky, and just really memorable songs and really good stuff. Number 2, I went with Mesro. Great thrash metal band. Out of Sweden. This was their third full length, entitled Embrace the Awakening. Really cool album. This was a new band for me as well. Really good thrasher. It was on Rock of Angels Records. And just top to bottom, just a really good thrash album. I was really surprised how much I liked it. I think I gave it like an 8.25 or 8.5. But really strong album. Definitely will make my list for the thrash list. Spoiler alert, I've already made the list, and it's 40. I did my top 40 thrash albums, so stay tuned for that. Actually, probably coming next week. But really strong album. Wasn't disappointed. Really good stuff. Number 1, technically, I would have went with Wolftooth. They're out of the U.S. They're a heavy metal / doom metal band out of Indiana. This is their 4th full length, entitled Wizard's Light. Cool artwork, kind of fantasy driven, cool logo. But I really dug this album. Really like their sound. A good blend of like traditional metal, very melodic, but it's got those really kind of crunchy, doomy elements mixed in. Just really catchy tunes, fun to listen to. Doomy, kind of mid-paced, chunky riffs. I just loved everything about this album. It was really solid stuff. And I kept listening to it, kept going back to it. Definitely one I want to add to my collection. I've already added it to my wish list on Amazon. So yeah, would have been my number 1 as it was. But what happened was the band struck a nerve. Was originally supposed to release their album October 3rd, I think it was, last month. And I heard the stream of it around that time in October. So because I heard It was supposed to be launched initially in October independently by the band, and I was able to find a streaming copy of it online. I counted it as an October release, and it was actually my number 2 of the month. And it beat out like Testament and like Coroner for thrash. Was crazy. And just they're a crossover thrash metal band out of the UK. And I'm going to put them here as number 1 technically again, because the time they were supposed to release the album in October, right at the same time they signed to Listenable Records, and Listenable Records agreed to put out the physical copy of it, like their vinyl and CD. So the release date got last minute pushed back to November 28th. So technically, I think their official release date of this album was November 28th, 2025. But because I already reviewed it back in October and counted it in the October list, I was going to leave it there. But because it is the November 28th official release, I believe, I just wanted to re-include it in November again. So because it was so damn good, number 2 last month, I had to make it number 1 this month. It's definitely by far the best album out of all the ones I mentioned. That's why I ended with 6 instead of 5. So it kind of just shifted everything down 1, and that's pretty much it. But I just wanted to re-put it at number 1 to include it on this list again. Like I said, just because I think the official release date for the album now is on November 28th, because they signed to the record label. And that's pretty much it for me, guys. Let me know down below your picks for November. I'm not sure, I usually have a follow-up video announcing what I have on the schedule to review the following month. But honestly, guys, for December, I don't have a single album on my calendar to review. So there won't be any that follow-up video this month. I guess December, I'm just kind of wing it. Kind of look for stuff every week to week to see what I can find that might be looking to review. But on certain websites, I didn't really say that the copy of my eye that I really wanted to review in December. It looks like it's going to be a really slow month. And I'm actually going to start launching my year-end list starting probably next week. So I'm going to start recording those tomorrow, and I'll release one pretty much every day of the week. So stay tuned for my top 10 album covers of the year. It's my top 5 EPs of the year, top 10 death metal albums, top 10 stoner / sludge / doom metal albums, and my top 40 thrash albums. I couldn't narrow it down to 10 or 20, so I just made it 40 that I wanted to include in the list because I reviewed and was introduced to so many thrash albums this year. I made it a huge list and put everything there I wanted to mention again. And there's a ton of bands that even make that list, which is kind of sad, but I'll go through that list as well. And then, of course, the big daddy of all lists, the top 10 albums of the year. And thank God I've got it finalized. I lost my mind trying to do the thrash list, putting them in a certain order, and my year-end list, but I finally got it finalized and set in stone. So stay tuned for those, guys. I'm excited to launch them for you coming up next week. So thanks for watching, guys. Again, let me know down below your picks for November, and keep it metal.